Facebook ads are a widely utilized tool for lead generation for real estate agents, but did you know that only 10% of agents that are running ads on Facebook are doing so on Instagram? Today, I'm going to talk about why that is and if Instagram ads are going to be worth it going into 2021. What's going on, everyone? Kyle Handy here. I'm a real estate agent here in San Antonio, Texas. I've built my entire real estate business over the last 12 years on digital marketing, content creation, and branding and advertising. Today, I work with a team of over 300 agents plus thousands of other agents online to help them build their brand, establish sustainable lead generation systems, and build profitable, scalable businesses that don't require grinding it out each and every day. If you're new to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button below and click the bell notification so you get notified of whenever I publish a new video twice every week. Also, if you find this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button below because it helps to tell YouTube to share this video with other like-minded realtors who need help in their business. All right, so let's just jump right in. So what I'm going to cover here with you today are 7 questions that I get asked most often with regards to Instagram ads, and then I'm also going to give you my 7 tips for running Instagram ads for yourself. I'll put the timestamps in the sidebar here, so if you want to jump ahead to a question that you've been wondering for a long time, feel free to do so. What we're going to cover first off is, are Instagram ads worth it? Then, how do Instagram ads work? Next is, how do you advertise on Instagram? After that, we're going to cover the difference between promoted posts versus actual Instagram ads. Then we're going to talk about Instagram ad placements and types. I'm going to give you some examples of Instagram ads that work specifically for real estate. Then I'm going to talk about the difference between Instagram ads and Facebook ads. And then finally, I'm going to wrap it up with my 7 tips. All right, so the first question, are Instagram ads worth it in 2021? The answer to that question is, it depends. Now, I know that answer might not be definitive enough for most of my audience, so stick with me here for a second. So when I say that it depends, it actually depends on 4 things. And if you answer these 4 things the right way, then the chances are Instagram ads definitely could be worth it for 2021 in your real estate business. If, however, I go over these 4 categories and you start to think that maybe this isn't the right thing for you, then maybe it's not going to be worth it for you in your real estate business. So the 4 things that running Instagram ads depends on are as follows. Number 1, targeting and demographics. What I mean by targeting and demographics is, if you look at each platform, Facebook and Instagram, each one serves a different audience for the most part. In general, Instagram tends to have a younger user base. Over 55% of Instagram's user base is between the ages of 18 and 29. 28% are from 30 to 49 years old. 11% is between 50 and 64, and 4% are over the age of 65. When you compare this to Facebook, the percentage of 18 to 29-year-olds are much lower, 30 to 49-year-olds are much higher, 50 to 64 is about the same, and over 65 is just a little bit higher. So you have to ask yourself, who is your ideal customer and client, and where are they typically spending their days on social media? Are they on Facebook or are they on Instagram? Now, as far as targeting goes, the targeting between Facebook ads and Instagram ads are going to be nearly identical. Back in 2018, Facebook introduced special ad categories for housing, which drastically impacted our ability as marketers to target specific demographics of buyers and sellers. So targeting in this sense isn't so important, but don't let this scare you. Facebook ads and Instagram ads can still be performed at a very high level if done properly. However, when I mention targeting here in relation to if Instagram ads are worth it, what I'm talking about is your targeting. Where are you spending the most of your focus on your day-to-day business? Are you in Instagram yourself? Are you on Facebook yourself? Which one do you spend more time on? In general, if you're on Instagram already and you have a following, whether it's a few hundred or a few thousand people, chances are running ads on Instagram is gonna be a good opportunity for you, especially if you're already running Facebook ads. All right, so the second thing that makes Instagram ads worth it for you or not is if you are goal-focused. If your plan is to just run Instagram ads on an as-needed basis whenever you may get a listing or just whenever some things start to happen in your business and you're kind of doing one-off ads here and there, then in general, I would recommend you not go into Instagram ads. This could also be said about Facebook ads. I believe that to get the most value out of both Facebook and Instagram ads, and if Instagram ads are going to be worth it for you going into 2021, you have to take a more strategic funnel approach to running Instagram ads. So there's really 3 steps of the funnel that you should always be running ads for. The first one is awareness. the next one is consideration, and the last one is conversion. And at every point in time, you should have an ad that's running to each one of these different steps in the process. And I'll talk about this a little bit more later on. If your plan is, again, just to run as an ad needed basis, I'd either reconsider that plan or maybe I wouldn't be running those ads on Instagram. This leads me to my third point on if Instagram ads are worth it, and that is long-term budgeting. Are you able to budget out 6 months to a year of running Instagram ads consistently and building off of one another? If not, or if you think I can only budget for a week or a month or whatever it might be for Instagram ads, I wouldn't even get into it, because a lot of the effectiveness of these ads is going to get better over time, especially as you get better as a marketer running these types of advertisements. A lot of the money you're going to spend in running advertisements on Instagram in the beginning is going to be wasted because you're not going to be probably running the best ads as possible. And in addition to that, your follow-up system with those leads are not going to be as honed in as possible. So you're going to probably leave some money on the table there as far as deals that could potentially close for you. But if you stick with this over time, it certainly can be a valuable proposition for you. All right, and the fourth point is image and video quality. I truly believe that on Instagram, you have to use higher quality images and videos than you would on Facebook or many other social platforms, because Instagram caters to eye-catching images and videos all day long. Therefore, if you don't want to take the time to be able to create attractive advertisements and images and videos, then Instagram may not be the best platform for you in the long run. All right, so let's assume that you've went through those 4 points and you've made it through and you say, you know what? I do think that Instagram ads are going to be worth it for me. I like what you're talking about. Everything sounds like it's possible, and I really want to grow my following on Instagram and be able to generate leads from this platform at the same time. Well, then let's talk about how do Instagram ads work. So if currently your Instagram profile is set to a personal profile, you're going to have to switch that and convert that to a business profile. It's free to do, and it's very easy to set up in your settings on Instagram. Next, you need to decide if you're going to promote an existing post that's already on your Instagram, or if you're going to create a brand new advertisement for Instagram specifically. It's similar to boosting a post on Facebook if you're familiar with that, but you'll have far less options than if you create an entirely new ad in the actual Instagram in the Facebook Ads Manager for Instagram. Another way to look at it is if you have a specific objective, that may dictate what type of ad you need to run. What I mean by that is a promoted post is good for things like page likes, engagements, messages, and just general brand awareness. How if you're running an ad and you want it to be more conversion focused for things like leads, website conversions, and video views, then you may want to set up inside of the Facebook Ads Manager for Instagram. As I mentioned earlier, if Instagram ads are going to be worth it for you, you're going to want to start thinking in terms of a funnel. So at some point or another, you're going to need to learn how to run both promoted posts and get familiar with the Facebook Ad Manager. I talked a little bit earlier about awareness, consideration, and conversion. Now I'm going to hit on those a little bit harder. So first off, awareness. This is just general reach. This is brand recognition. At all points in time, you're going to be wanting to run ads on brand awareness. And so this is where you can do a promoted post just to get your post to be seen by more people. This is going to start warming up your audience to you, so that way you can start to run more conversion focused ads to them later on. The next ad objective is consideration. This is the middle step where you want your audience to take some form of a micro conversion to start to work with you and your brand. When I'm talking about a micro conversion, I'm talking about something as simple as a like, a share, a comment, anything like that, not even necessarily giving you their information or reaching out to you at this point. If consideration is still your objective, then you can still run this type of ad through a promoted post. However, the last objective, conversion, is best created in the Facebook Ad Manager. The conversion objective is where you're going to finally ask that warm audience that you've built up through many posts and many ads already in your funnel to take some step towards working with you, whether it be to give you their name, email, and potentially phone number, to maybe just calling you or booking a time on your calendar. So again, this is where knowing the Facebook Ads Manager platform is going to serve you well, because you'll have a lot more options to get those conversion ads as optimized as possible. So if you've already made it to this point and everything is starting to be spinning in your head right now and you're like, man, Kyle, this is going a little too far for where I'm comfortable, stick with me. I promise you it's not as complicated as what it might be sounding to you right now. Plus, I do plan to come out with a video next week on exactly step-by-step how to run Instagram ads for your account. All right, but let's move along. Once you've decided your ad's objective, then you got to determine what your budget is going to be. Additionally, how long is this ad going to last for? And are you going to do a daily budget or a lifetime budget? Once you've got that nailed down, then all that's left to do is just publish your ad. So the third question that I get asked all the time is, how do you advertise on Instagram? And because I've already covered this just before, I'll reiterate that there's really only two ways that you can advertise on Instagram. You can do it directly within the platform by promoting a post that you've already created on your Instagram feed, or you can create an entirely new post that is created directly through the Facebook Ads Manager for Instagram. All right, so one other thing to note about the difference between promoted posts and ads, in addition to the different types of objectives that they can serve, is that when you run Instagram ads, you can run those ads without them having to go on your Instagram grid, which is basically your main feed where all of your past posts are stored. This may or may not be important to you, but if you're running ads and you don't want that to necessarily be the type of content that people see on a day-to-day basis on your feed, then running an ad within the Facebook Ads Manager platform would be the right strategy for you. All right, so next up, let's talk about Instagram ad placements and types. So there's basically three placements where you can put your Instagram ads on. You've got your feed, Instagram stories, and the explore page. You also have IGTV potentially in the future, but as of right now, that's not really a thing yet. So let's talk about the different placements for Instagram ads. So the first type of placement that we'll talk about is story ads. Story ads are temporary style ads that only last for about 15 seconds and allow people to scroll up to go to whatever your call to action is. The advantage to this is that most of the time the swipe up feature is only available to Instagram users that have over 10,000 followers. However, when you're running story ads, you can have the swipe up feature automatically through your ad. Now, the thing to note about story ads is that you need to make sure that when you create a story ad, you're matching your image size to the medium that the stories provide. So for instance, on stories, it's a vertical 9:16 aspect ratio image, and that's how you're gonna wanna format your ad so it takes up the full screen. Don't just repurpose a square or a landscape ad that you might be using on the feed or explore page of Instagram on your stories. Make sure it's a specific type of ad that you're running on stories. With stories, you can run a static image, you can do a carousel of images, and you can even add up to 15-second long videos for your story ads. Stories have been gaining more and more popularity over the years, and so it's definitely a worthwhile ad to experiment and test out the effectiveness of running the same ad on stories as you do on your feed and explore. All right, so let's talk about the next placement, which is your feed. This is the main type of ad that you're going to run. This is where when people are scrolling through their news feed on Instagram, your ad would show up as they're scrolling, similar to how it would do on Facebook. Here you also have the same option as far as running a single photo ad, a carousel ad of multiple photos, or a video ad. Now for a video ad, you can run up to 120-second long video when you compare that to Instagram stories, which is only 15 seconds. Additionally, if you're running a carousel ad, you can add up to 10 images for one advertisement that users can scroll between sideways to see the different images. What I've found from running Instagram ads is that carousel ads tend to perform the best, video ads perform second best, and photo ads perform the worst. Now, one thing to note as far as effectiveness with all of these different types of placements and types of ads is that whenever you create an ad, it's been my experience that if you focus on one product, one listing, one aspect of service that you provide, the better the ad will perform. So for instance, if you're running a carousel post, don't put 10 different homes as they're scrolling sideways. Put one home, make the ad be about one home, and have different images of that home as they scroll to the side. But I don't want to spoil all my tips too soon because I'm going to be talking more about that in my 7 tips here just at the very end. All right, so the last placement is the explore ad. Now the explore page has gotten moved around a little bit. It used to be like one of the first pages you would see when you opened up Instagram in the bottom left. Now you have to click on the search icon to be able to pull up your Explore feed. However, the cool thing about running Explore ads is people that are in their Explore feed, they're actually looking for new content. So these potential leads are actually going through, they don't know what they want to see just yet. And so when your ad pops up, they may be more interested in clicking on it. Your ad could be seen in one of two ways when you choose to use an Explore ad. First off is in the main Explore feed. If they're just scrolling up and you see a bunch of those images, one of those could be your ad. Additionally, if they click an Explore image and then they start scrolling up and they start seeing more images come underneath that main Explore image, your ad could come up. My experience is that normal feed posts, whether it be carousel or video, tend to perform the highest, but you definitely should experiment with Explore as they're constantly changing around the algorithm and things could change from update to update. All right, so next up, I'm gonna give you 6 examples of different Instagram ads that you could run as a real estate agent. The first of which is featuring an upcoming home or open house. Now notice how I said upcoming or coming soon, because typically as homes hit the market, at least in my area, they're gone within a day or two. So if you're waiting to list that home before you run ads for it, chances are you could miss a huge opportunity to generate a massive amount of leads and also potentially get the best offer for your listing. Another type of ad that I like to run, more of kind of on the branding side of things, is the aspirational real estate type of ad. This is where you can take some royalty-free images, ones that you don't have to pay for or you don't have to pay for the rights for, and post those on your Instagram feed. These aren't necessarily going to be homes in your area or anything like that, but they're dream homes. They're things that catch people's attention, or maybe they're just unique to where people don't see these every day, so they're gonna wanna check it out. There's a few different sources that you can find royalty-free images. The ones that I like to use are Pixabay, Shutterstock, Unsplash, and Pexels. All right, the third ad that you can run is showcasing your success. So this is where you'd put something if you sold a home in 3 days, or if you get a great testimonial from a past client, whether it's a video testimonial or even just a quote from them. Now, another great awareness or even a consideration type post could be an about you post. This is where you can share something unique about yourself, either a strength or just something unique about your character that'll catch somebody's attention and may get them to want to work with you. Fifth is the provide value type of ad. This is where you can highlight your days on market for the area. You can give some average prices as far as if they're going up or down in your area, some popular neighborhood average prices. Any type of infographic type of post like this can also do very well when targeted to the right audience. And the last example of a post is highlighting why your area is awesome. This could be something unique about your area that most people may not know. Maybe it's a unique restaurant, maybe it's some shopping place that you just discovered, anything like that that shows that you're out there in the community, you know your area and your market, and you're willing to share that information with your audience. Now, these are all amazing examples of ads that will work for you on Instagram, and majority of these are focused on brand awareness and consideration, which again is just getting general views and clicks and likes and shares. However, when you shift the focus to conversion, you want to start capturing emails or having leads reach out to you, whether it be through Messenger or just calling you directly, then you need to start thinking about a way that you can dangle a carrot or make there be some reason why somebody would want to give you their information. So let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. So for instance, if you did have a new upcoming listing that you wanted to promote, you could give enough information, but don't give the price and the address, and let people know that they need to provide their email address or they need to do something where they give you their information so you can relay the rest of the information to them. Additionally, if you're providing value about neighborhoods, maybe there's 2 neighborhoods that people are always considering. Well, one way that you could turn an ad from a consideration post to a conversion post is by putting one of the neighborhood's average stats up and saying, for the other neighborhood, send me your email address or something of that nature, so that way you can start capturing leads that way. But always having a good mix of different ads that you're running at any given time is going to help out the effectiveness of all of the ads that you're running. All right, so the last question I get is, what are the difference between Instagram ads and Facebook ads? So now, outside of the audience demographics that we already talked about earlier in the video, the next difference is much smaller. On Instagram, you have to use a call to action button for somebody to engage with the post. You cannot add any links into the caption of the text of your ad. However, on Facebook, you can have a call to action button and a link within your text. Now, I've not really found that as a big negative. In fact, most of the time I like to just have one call to action for any particular ad that I'm running. It can start to muddy the result if you have a call to action button that says one thing and then you've got a link click in your caption on Facebook that says something different. It's hard to know which one they're going to want to click on and which one's being the most effective. So for that reason, it's not really a big difference between the two platforms here. The next one is kind of just my general observations after running tens of thousands of dollars to Facebook and to Instagram over the last 5 years. But in general, I've noticed that Instagram ads tend to be more expensive for my audience. Now, again, that may be different for you and for your audience. You'll want to test them against each other. But in general, that's what I've found is usually about anywhere from 10 to 20% more expensive running similar ads on Facebook with the same ad on Instagram. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. In fact, one of the things that I always say is that it's always great to show up in multiple places. So if you are already running Facebook ads, it's a great opportunity for you to show up on Instagram. If somebody is using both platforms, they're going between the two, and they've now seen your ad on Facebook, they've seen your ad on Instagram, and maybe they're seeing your signs in the yard, or they're getting a direct mail from you, or they've visited your website in the past. The more places that you show up, the more of the expert that you'll appear in their eyes, and the more that they're going to want to work with you. So again, even if Instagram ads are more expensive, I'm still going to be interested in running them just because of that aspect alone. All right, so let's jump into the lightning round where I'm going to give you my 7 tips for running Instagram ads as a real estate agent. Number 1, do not just repurpose any other ad that you're running and put it on Instagram. It's a very specific image and a very specific attention to detail when it comes to running Instagram ads. You need to make sure that you're using a square 1080 by 1080 pixel image on Instagram, whereas on Facebook, you might use a different image size. Additionally, if you're using Instagram stories, you need to make sure that that ad image is 9 by 16 aspect ratio. Tip number 2, be sure that you're only using one particular property or one service that you're talking about per ad. Don't clutter up and have too much information on one ad or too many homes in one ad. Separate those ads, have them each be their own ad for 2 reasons. 1, you'll be able to measure which ad is more effective. Maybe the image on one particular home is better than another. You'll be able to tell that if you're running 2 separate ads versus putting those into a carousel post or something like that in the same ad. Additionally, it lets the potential lead get more information about that one property or that one service you're talking about to where you've given them enough information, not everything, so they still need to potentially reach out to you, but at least it's a clear, well-defined advertisement so there's no confusion as to what you're trying to promote. Next up, tip number 3, use Canva for your image editing and adding on text and things like that. It's the easiest platform that I've found to be able to add images, remove the background from things. I use it for creating all of my thumbnails and images that I put on my Instagram profile and much, much more. Number 4, even though you're running these as ads, don't forget about organic. Make sure that you're still putting in a caption, you're adding in your 30 hashtags, which is the maximum amount of hashtags that you can put per Instagram post, because even though you're running the ad, you'll still get a lot of organic traffic from it if it's a good post. Number 5, run many smaller, less costly ad groups for different targets and placements of your Instagram ads versus having one lumped in ad where you put all of the placements together and all of the detailed targeting in the same ad group. If you separate out your different placements and your different targeting into different ad groups when you're setting up the ad, it's easy to see which one is more effective and quickly turn off the ads that are least effective, so that way you can only run the best of the best. Number 6, promote your best content. If you've been posting to Instagram for a while and you already have some posts that have already done very well, you could start there and start by promoting those posts, because if your audience already engaged with that post a lot, chances are a random audience is going to get the same engagement out of it as well. And finally, number 7, Instagram ads should be used as part of an ongoing online lead generation strategy. They should not be used as just a one-off, one-time as needed basis type of an ad. If you're doing that, chances are you're just throwing money away if you don't have a fully thought out strategy. All right, so I hope that by answering these questions and giving you some tips, it starts to make you think about potentially running Instagram ads or improving the Instagram ads that you're already running for your real estate business. Definitely come back next week when I publish my video on step-by-step how to set up these different ads for your real estate business. And as you know, if you made it to this part of the video, you are part of that 1% crew. Make sure to put 1% in the comments and let me know that you watched this video all the way through. And if you have any questions about running Instagram ads for your real estate business, make sure to put them in the comments below. I respond to every comment that I get on my channel, and I'll make sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Lastly, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, and please hit that thumbs up button below and give this video a like. It makes all the difference to me and my audience when you do that. And as always, go sell some real estate and be well.